Video game developer Milestone's 2021 release Hot Wheels Unleashed achieved something fairly special, simultaneously appealing to 10-year-olds and those who are, well, a bit older, such as the TraxionGG team. This falls in line with the ambitions of Mattel when it comes to the Hot Wheels brand, demonstrated by its recent range of more premium models, predominantly made up of cars from the 80s, 90s and noughties, prime millennial material. These are just toys at the end of the day, but a growing number of adults, blinded by nostalgia and with enough disposable income for regular trips to Smith's stores, certainly creates opportunity. Now, Milestone is back again with a sequel to its best ever selling release, but is it a worthy successor, and does it justify a second purchase? Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged is the same basic recipe, with recreations of die-cast vehicle models placed on contextually giant plastic roads with a rewarding handling system. But the follow-up adds new locations, a narrated story for the main campaign, and additional driving mechanics. If Unleashed is Coke Zero, Unleashed 2 is Coke Zero with a hint of lime. There's the familiar first sip hit of refreshment and a caffeinated kick, just with an extra twist. Ripping through exaggerated track designs with loops, boost pads and jumps remains satisfying. This time the backdrop has changed and there are some new modules, or in other words traps, that you have to avoid. Essentially though, this is remarkably familiar. So is the driving, which is to say each vehicle corners in a unique way, something a Toys to Life title didn't necessarily need to achieve, but the developers did go the extra mile. Pulling off a smooth drift around a long downhill hairpin is euphoric. A lesson to all game developers out there: if you want the appeal to be more than ephemeral, make sure the dynamics are your #1 priority. Shiny visuals also help, and here Turbocharged excels once again. You'd be hard pressed to spot any graphical upgrades compared to the forebearer, but it didn't need any. Neon light refracts off the diminutive designs, the photo mode alluring, and detail astounding, especially when the paint scratches up. One of the very best looking racing video games, period. And the experience on PC and PlayStation 5 as tested is buttery smooth. Yet, in order for it to be a worthy successor, this sequel needs to build upon these solid foundations and take it further. In an effort to make the most of this cash cow, there's a smattering of new vehicles alongside returning favourites with a roster of over 130 at launch. There are now monster trucks, quad bikes and motorcycles, adding further variety. The behemoths look incongruous on track and can smash through obstacles, but for the most part you'll likely try a truck once and move on. The ATVs and bikes look ghostly without a rider, and the two-wheeled vehicles have handling glitches when the game sometimes forgets they don't have double the wheel count. Still, just look at that Ducati model, it's very cute. Parts of the tracks are now also on dirt surfaces, such as the grass at the garden setting. Credit where it's due, the surface change has a profound effect. While we're all for detailed physics, this slows the pace down and your AI rivals often have a heightened prowess for rally driving at odds to your dramatic slewing. This is a shame. They can also sideswipe you during an event, using some of their boost to slam you instead of propelling themselves forward. This is a new manoeuvre you must look out for, although often they aggressively smash you off the track, seeing you free-falling to an inevitable press of the reset button on the last corner. Ugh. You can dish it out too, of course, but it's tricky to first of all time it correctly, and secondly move in the direction that you'd like to. Another area you can use your boost for is to jump, with obstacles and gaps in the track strategically placed. This is much more rewarding than the side slam, as it requires deft timing that wasn't beyond our meager capabilities. In the previous game, I never found the need for a rewind function, notably absent despite Milestone being pioneers in this field with Alfa Romeo Racing Italiano. But here, with the most extravagant track designs mixed with the aggressive rivals and jumps that require boost, no boost left, fall to your death, it feels like a missed opportunity by omitting it. Still, while the new additions can be irksome, the core racing is compelling, and there's an element of strategy present. Just as well really, because the new for Turbocharged story for the main campaign isn't so captivating. Well, I say that, it depends. There's a loose narrative surrounding 5 monsters escaping, and it's your job to race Hot Wheels to defeat them. There are some cartoonish cutscenes that are as throwaway as it gets, and 5 matching boss levels. If I were younger, I fully expect this will really bring the campaign to life. An 8-year-old playing on Switch will be beside themselves. But it doesn't strike that balance of also appealing to elders like LEGO 2K Drive's story managed. For all ages, however, the boss battles are the best events in the game, another new addition alongside the enjoyable semi-free roaming waypoint challenges. Here, you must drive around a track and hit consecutive targets before a bar fills up. As the bar approaches its limit, the music tempo increases, creating a tense event that otherwise would be a time trial. Think Guitar Hero for cars. As you progress through the world map, no longer a toy car playmat, you unlock experience points to level up, credits, wheel spins, and cosmetic items. Gone are the crates, which many rallied against, although we did enjoy saving up and unboxing several in one go. The aforementioned wheel spins are here instead, in combination with a store with an inventory that refreshes every 45 minutes. And if that sounds like a Forza Horizon game, that's because the mechanics are identical in every way. A slot machine style device spins around, and you unlock either a vehicle or cash. Meanwhile, profile missions are identical to Forza's accolade system. Each vehicle can also be upgraded using points that provide specific enhancements, and yes, you're right, that also sounds like Horizon's skill points-based vehicle perks. Nothing here will persuade you that this is a good system if you aren't a fan of Microsoft's series, but after initial skepticism, there's a reward loop here that is just about engaging enough. Just. Outside of the main career, split-screen multiplayer, livery editors, a track creator, and online multiplayer are all present and correct. The latter can make use of user-created layouts and is cross-platform, although there isn't a way of inviting friends across the differing devices in our pre-release testing. Minor quirks remain from the first game, which second time around are worth mentioning due to our lowered tolerance level, namely weak replay camera angles and a befuddling method of actually applying the livery that you've just created. Still, when you're racing around a giant loop-the-loop before avoiding a web-shooting spider in your customised yellow Nissan Z, it's hard not to smile, especially if, like us, you glance across to your toy collection and see the exact same model sitting right in front of you. The fact that the publishers felt the need to add the word Turbocharged to the name, presumably thinking that the number 2 wasn't enough, perhaps shows a lack in confidence that the sequel doesn't do enough to differentiate itself. Some of the new additions are clear misses too, but we still adore racing in this world far more than some of the recent po-faced games that take themselves far too seriously. It may not move the series on in any meaningful way, but we're happy Unleashed 2 exists to simply play more Hot Wheels. So that's going to conclude our review of Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, but I want to hear what your thoughts are. Will you be picking this game up on launch on the 19th of October? Do let us know in the comments down below. The game will be releasing on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, Windows, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. And for any further information about the game, please do keep an eye on the TraxionGG website, as we will be covering every bit of news we possibly can. Also, if you've enjoyed this video, subscribe to the Traxion channel for more content like this in the future. Until next time, thanks for watching, keep it pinned, and have a great day.